Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Roll 'em If You Got 'em. I'm Carl, as always, joined with Dakota.
Hello, everybody.
And today we're going to take a look at painting the Koshchey from the Witcher Old World miniatures game. This is our second Witcher model from the board game. They're moving a little slower than previously anticipated, but here we go. The Koshchey here, it's like a giant bug spider thing. I don't know. It looks like it comes out of a swamp, and it's the box art for the monster pack expansion. But we'll have some images of that coming up here shortly. So we're starting with good old fashioned Slapchop. Going real heavy on the gray here because it has kind of a gray greenish skin tone.
Mm-hmm.
And I plan on using a speed paint that is a little more on the green side, so I figured I would just go really heavy with the gray underneath.
How, obviously, we're not seeing any yet, but did the model hold up well while slap chopping it?
Oh yeah, it very well. These things are wonderful. You know, the unedited footage, I probably dropped the thing multiple times, but
Nice.
that's just kind of the way I
Yeah.
roll. And no issues, no
I feel like
issues.
looking at the model and just watching you hold it, I'm like, yeah, I'd have broken 4 legs off by now.
You'd think so, but either it's real durable or I got lucky. But yeah, it looks like he's like in a swampy kind of area. He's on like a log and some rocks, and we'll kind of pull all those details out as we go here. But it is a gorgeous looking model. I mean, all the models in this game. If anybody wants to watch those, we can drop a tag to. We have a video where we just do all the models, just showing them off, and then we have a live stream where we unboxed it. Then grabbing the white here on the Slapchop, not in great focus by looks of it, but just trying to pick out kind of the high points here. This whole model is going to be pretty dark.
Mm-hmm.
I know that going into it, so I am trying to really lighten up the high spots. Just giving him the old slappy chopperoony here. There is one detail we pull out right there that I would have never noticed if it wasn't for the Slapchop, and I highlight it here along the way, but there's like a mushroom underneath the model on this log. I think I pull it up right here. Yeah, so that little circle sort of spot that's underneath the log there. I know we zoom in on it here at one point, but that's our cute little slap chopped Koshchey. Koshchey?
Yeah, we have no idea how to pronounce that word.
Yeah.
We think it's Koshchey, something like that.
Yep. So keeping it simple, grabbing a dark wood speed paint to put on the log, not reinventing the wheel here by any means. If it says wood, put it on wood. If it says leather, put it on leather. There, I got some on the or on the leg there, but just kind of wet the brush with some water. Just kind of go in and mop it up. Just clean it up a little bit before moving on to the rest of the log. And here's the little mushroom part I was talking about. Kind of slow it down here and zoom in on it. But had I not slap chopped this thing, I would have never seen this. I would have just thought it was part of the log and sort of went on with my day there. But yep, finishing up the log. And I did the base first because I wanted to get an idea of how dark the base was going to be, because then I could just make the model just like a shade lighter. You know, I didn't want the base to be lighter than the model.
All right, yeah.
Because I didn't want it to steal the attention. So
Hmm.
I started with the base just so I knew right away on how dark it was going to be. And I planned on it being pretty dark. I mean, it's going to be the dark wood is going to be Gravelord Gray for the stick or for the stones. I mean, and then I hit it with a little bit of sand golem. I think here in a minute, just for like the little ground
Hmm.
texture parts.
Yeah, you're definitely making the base dark. I mean, it makes sense for like a swampy type of gritty type of theme.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and with the model, I knew it was going to be pretty dark. I wanted to go
Hmm.
real dark with the base.
Right.
Yep, and here's a little bit of the sand golem. Just add a little lightness to them here. And I believe that we're going to use this same color to pick out our little mushroom friend. Yep, keeping that sand golem, picking out our little mushroom. Just it's a nice little detail to have on there, just to kind of break up some of that darkness for sure.
Hmm.
Having it, well away from the center line, but not really visible from the front of the model. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting as well. Putting some details on the back of models because sometimes when you play, like especially in war games, all your models tend to face your opponent, not
Right,
you, so you don't ever really get to see them.
for sure. This is Camel Cloak here by Army Painter Speed Paints version 1.0, which they're discontinuing. So I hurried up and bought another box of them the other day because I absolutely love the things. And I'm afraid of, what the 2.0s will be. And I pretty much take this and I hit the whole model with this. Just it's coming out a little more green,
Hmm.
especially wet than I want it to be, and I know that it'll dry a little darker, so I'm not freaking out just yet. In the end, it does end up being a little more green, but we mitigate that with some of the washes here towards the end. But just really punching this in on the whole guy, getting it in everywhere, because I know later I can go back and I can deepen recesses either with another coat or a wash, or I could pick out details with a lighter color.
Hmm.
I know that I'm going to hit the eyes with the plasmatic bolt, um, but I'm not worried about that right now. I paint the whole face green and literally cover the entire model with
Hmm.
this camel cloak, with the exception of maybe the little mandibles up front. But after I did this, I did let it dry uh, after this, and I mean, at this point, I think I let it dry for a few weeks before I got back to the model to finish it.
So needless to say, it was dry.
Yes, it was quite dry. Maybe not yet. Okay, so I hit the mandibles with a little pallid bone, and then we let it dry for a while. Um, so okay, here he is, well dry. We're not going to talk about how much time later, but like it looks good. Like if right
Hmm.
here, if you put this, especially for a board game,
Hmm.
like you put this on a table, he's cool. But I do grab a small brush and I very lightly dry brush the face because he has like these bioluminescent kind of eyes.
Yeah.
So I've been playing with the object light sourcing on with the speed paints and trying to find some little hacks here and there. So I just do a very light dry brushing around the whole face, and then I come in and give the eyes a very well, what do you want to call this?
Like a detailed brightening
Yeah,
up.
yeah, like I covered them pretty well. Now I'm looking at the body here, and like I said, it was too green, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to cover it with the Gravelord Gray or just the dark tone wash. I decided to go with the dark tone wash, And if you look at the picture here that I'm going off of from the wiki, the joints are a little more green
Mm-hmm.
than the rest of it. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna take this dark tone and I'm gonna hit everything that's not the joints, and then hopefully the joints stay a little greener. And I want it to just knock back the color a little bit on the rest of the model here.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a good idea. And even too, most of those joints it look like are on like the top sides too, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Also.
Hindsight being what it is, maybe mix the camo cloak with the Gravelord Gray. Maybe like 2 parts camo cloak, 1 part Gravelord Gray before painting the model. If anyone out there is gonna just copy this and not want to get the washes or go through the extra step of the wash. But I mean, I think it comes out looking pretty much like I wanted it to going in.
Mm-hmm.
But just skipping over the joints and then skipping over these uh large these like ridges
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
on the back. I'm just kind of going in between them. That way they stay green. Also, there we go. I've seen at least 3 model drops that weren't edited out. So yeah, these things are durable, ladies and gentlemen. Here is that plasmatic bolt. I've called this pragmatic bolt, I think, like the entire time that I've had these speed paints for over a year now, up until I made this video, I'm pretty sure. I don't know why I went with pragmatic bolt. But I pretty much take that and I just kind of hit the whole face with it and like a little up on the head because I know that when it dries, it's going to be a little darker. And I just want to try to create a little bit of visual interest on this model with it being so dark. The base, the whole model, everything.
Yeah,
Not
I mean,
having a ton to pull out.
yeah, I mean, looking at it right now, I think those are like some great, glowing eyes, essentially.
Oh, thank you.
I feel like that's one thing that I'm always trying to do. Like, oh, I have like a lens or an eye or something like that I want to glow,
Mm-hmm.
and I like mess it up somehow, and I'm just like, it is what it is.
It's for me, it's like the number one thing I'd like to get better at right now as a miniatures painter is getting better at like light sources and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
This is just a traditional bone colored paint. I didn't put it on screen here, but it is Desert Sand by Reaper Miniatures. 09432. And I'm hitting the mandibles with it, and you can see I'm getting some of like the bleed from the plasmatic bolt still, which is kind of okay because I think it helps sort of create that light source. And then I do go back and hit that with the pallid bone speed paint just to give them not. It almost looks cartoony because they're like such a solid color compared to the rest of the
Mm-hmm.
model.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, we hit that with the pallid bone. And this guy's pretty much done. I like to hit the bone. When I use this color, I put it on pretty thick because I like it to get into those recesses. And really, it does a good job, I think, of giving you the brown and the tan and a little bit of white.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of just in general, like the bone colored stuff. I don't know why. Something's bone colored, I'm like drawn to it.
And then to finish this guy up, we grab a just an acrylic black here, and we clean up the rim of the base to just because it gets dirty when you slap chop it, and then you can see there's some colors on it, and let's give it a nice clean black rim here, and it comes out looking pretty fantastic. I think. I mean, pretty much everything went as planned, with the exception of the original coat of Camo Cloak being just kind of light.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's pretty much it for our Koshchey here.
Yeah, I think some final thoughts. I think the eyes turned out like the eyes and the mandibles, the face area turned out really great. I think it just pops really well against the dark body that you got going on with the spider thing.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the eyes are maybe my best attempt at using the speed paints for some object source lighting thus far.
Right.
I've just recently been playing around with it. If you go back and watch our most recent video, folks, you can see what happens when less is more, and I did more in the last video. This I was kind of trying to err on that less, and I think it worked.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree.
Working on finding the happy medium here. Any final thoughts?
No, I don't think any final thoughts. I think really just to wrap it up, just make sure you like and subscribe and check out other videos as well.
The next Witcher model will be finishing up the monster pack expansion, which is what we started with. It'll be the Siren though. Yeah, and these are not your typical fantasy sirens where they're beautiful women. These things look rather hideous and terrifying, and I'm super excited to paint that up. So that'll be coming soonish. All right, thanks for hanging out, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.